فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. If someone fears from the testator, either he is inclining towards someone mistakenly, or he is committing a sin in his will, فَأَصْلَحَ بَيْنَهُمْ, so he tried to reconcile that will, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ, then he will not be sinful by doing that. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor, is Rahim. So that is the main ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah which speaks about the will. Now we have here to differentiate between a general will and a specific will. This ayah, which is of Surah Al-Baqarah, it speaks about making a will if you leave a wealth behind you. So you must make a will for those people who are mentioned in this ayah. So it means that if you don't have a great amount of wealth, then your own children, your wife, your parents, of course, they are going to inherit you. So if you are in an Islamic country, for example, then you may not write a will, because you know that if I die, then all my assets are going to be distributed among my heirs, because the share of each heir is written in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 11 and 12. So according to that, there is no worry about that. But you are not in a Muslim country. You are here where the laws of England and Wales are applicable on your inheritance. So if you got inheritance and you don't leave a will, then the law of intestacy is going to be applicable, and you have to pay tax upon your inheritance. And your inheritance may not be given to whom you want to give. It may be according to the discretion of the government. So it means that a person should write a will, whether he got a good amount of wealth or a little amount of wealth, he should leave a will. And this is also in accordance to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar, مَا حَقُّ امْرِئٍ مُسْلِمٍ لَهُ شَيْءٌ يُوصِي فِيهِ يَبِيتُ لَيْلَتَيْنِ إِلَّا وَوَصِيَّتُهُ مَكْتُوبَةٌ عِنْدَهُ. This is the duty of a Muslim. If he got something, some good wealth, that he should make a will. And he should not delay that will for a night or 2 nights. And within 1 night or 2 nights, his wasiyah should be written with him. So Sayyidina Ali said, مَا مَرَّتْ عَلَيَّ لَيْلَةٌ مُنْذُ سَمِعْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ إِلَّا وَوَصِيَّتِي كَانَتْ مَكْتُوبَةً عِنْدِي. Sayyidina Ali said that after listening to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I did not delay it, I prepared my will. So to write the will, that is also a sunnah. But according to this ayah, if you are leaving a good amount of wealth, then you must do it. So here in this country, you should have a will. Why? Because if you don't leave a will, then your inheritance would be distributed according to the law of England and Wales. So it means that it would not be according to what is related in the Quran. Because in the Quran there is shares are given for the parents, for the children, for the wife, for the brothers, for the sisters. And if there is someone missing, there may be someone else out of your relative who is going to inherit. So according to that law, you know who is going to inherit yourself. So you must have a will where you describe each and every relative. You give the name of each and every relative who is going to inherit you. For example, Quran says that if a person dies and he got parents alive, and he got also children, so the parents, both father and mother, they are going to inherit 1/6 each. So 1/6 each, 1/6 each, it means 1/3 is gone. And the remaining would be for the children. And you know the law of Al-Quran, لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ, a male child is going to inherit a double share of a female child. And in the very same way, if a man dies, his wife is going to inherit. If there are children, her inheritance would be 1/8. If no children, then she would receive 1/4, double of 1/8. And if the woman dies, the husband is going to inherit. If there are children, 1/4 only. If there are no children, 1/2. So this type of share that should be written in the will. It is not enough just to say that my inheritance should be distributed according to the Quran and Sunnah. No. You give the names of your inheritors, your heirs, each one, father 1/6, mother 1/6, like this. And of course, if there are no children, then brothers and sisters are going to inherit. But if there are brothers and sisters, if there are sons and daughters, then brothers and sisters are not going to inherit. So this is why it is very vital for you to make a will. Now in the will, there is a specific will, which is anything which you want to give to non-inheritor, the person who is not inheriting you, but you want to give him, so you can give him. How much? Within 1/3 only. Within 1/3 you can make wasiyah to any non-inheritors. So this is the specific wasiyah which is needed in a general wasiyah. So this is how this is going to work. Now let us come back to the ayah. The ayah says that when death approaches you, one of you, in taraka khayran, if he has left khair. What does it mean khair? Because the word khair means good. But here in this context, it means money. Like the ayah of Surah Al-Adiyat, وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. The man very much loves al-khair. What is that khair? That money. لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. So khair means money here. How much money? In olden times, when in Tabi'in times, they said, oh, if someone got 1,000 dirham, that is a lot of money. 1,000. Even now you can say 1,000 pound is a good money. So if that is the amount, then you can have this specific wasiyah of 1/3. 1/3 to a non-inheritor. Because if the money, if someone came to one of the tabi'in and he said he got 400 dinar, so can he leave a specific wasiyah will for non-inheritors? He said, man, you got a little amount of money. Leave it for your children. Just leave it for your children. Don't give anybody anything else. So it means that a good amount of money, if you are going to leave, then you must have a specific wasiyah in 1/3 of your assets for a non-inheritors, whether he is a person or a charity. You may want to leave for a charity. You may want to leave for a mosque. So it can be done, but within 1/3. If you make it for more than 1/3, it is not acceptable. The hadith of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, He was in Mecca. The Prophet ﷺ visited him. He was ill. And at that time, he got only one daughter. So he asked the Prophet ﷺ, I don't know whether I'm going to live or not. I got only one daughter. Can I give one half, all the one half to a charity or to a sadaqah, general purposes? So the Prophet said, no, it's too much. He said, can I give 2/3? He said, not even 2/3. 2/3 and then half? No. He said, no, even 2/3 you don't give, one half you don't give. And then he said, as-sulus, 1/3. And then the Prophet said, was-sulus. And even as-sulusu kabir, even 1/3 is a lot. But that is the uppermost amount you can give in a specific wasiyah to a non-inheritor, that is 1/3. And some tabi'een said, better to go for 1/4. Make it less than 1/3. So your other relatives, your own children should benefit from your money. And then he said these words, وَلَئِن تَضَعَ أَوْ تَذَرَ وَرَثَتَكَ أَغْنِيَاءَ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَنْ تَذَرَهُمْ يَتَكَفَّفُونَ النَّاسِ. You better leave your children with good amount of money than to leave them stretching their hands and asking people money. So first point, what we understand, that this wasiyah, that is within 1/3, which is for a non-inheritor. Here this ayah is saying that if a person is approaching death, he should make a wasiyah for the parents, wal aqrabeen, and for the relatives, bil ma'roof, in a way which is known in the community, haqqan alal muttaqeen, as it is a haqq upon muttaqeen people. All right, have you to do a wasiyah for your parents? Now the answer is, that is the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. And then the ayah of Surah Al-Nisa, the ayah of Surah Al-Nisa, which is 11, number verse 11, وَلِأَبَوَيْهِ لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَ السُّدُسُ إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ إِن كَانَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُثُ. This ayah said that, yes, for parents there is a specific amount, that is 1/6 for each of them, if there is a child in the family. If there is no child in the family, then the mother would receive 1/3, which means the remaining 2/3 will go to the father. So they say that this ayah, that was in the beginning. In the beginning, when the people normally in Jahiliyyah, everybody loves the children. So they live for the children, but they don't want to live for their parents anything. So this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically said that make something for your parents, lil walidain. That was in the beginning, to take care of your parents, wal aqrabeen, and other relatives. Because normally people used to give everything to their own sons, not even to the daughters. But when the ayah of Surah Al-Nisa was revealed, it became clear that the parents got a share, and that share is prescribed, which I have just mentioned, and the share of other aqrabeen, relatives. So here then we say, is this ayah is abrogated completely? No, we don't use the word abrogated. We use the word specified, that there is a specification which has been made of this ayah, that after the shares of the parents are given, after the shares of other relatives like sons and daughters and brothers and sisters and wife and husband, they are all given, then the other people who are not included in those shares, you can still make a wasiyah for them. So now this ayah would mean like this, that when the death approaches, then you can make a wasiyah for the non-inheritors. Even if they are your parents. How? How? You can have wasiyah for your parents, even if they are non-inheritors. Answer me. You can give right wasiyah for your parents, even if they don't inherit you. No, their parents. You are saying parents' share is given in Surah An-Nisa. Non-Muslim parents. Here comes the non-Muslim parents. Because the non-Muslim parents, they are not going to inherit you. They are Allah yarisul Muslimul kafir, wala yarisul kafirul Muslim. So, if they are non-Muslim, they don't inherit a Muslim son. But can a Muslim son leave a wasiyah for his non-Muslim parents? Yes. That is allowed. That is going to solve all the problems for those people who are new Muslims and their parents are not Muslims. In the same way, if someone got a non-Muslim wife, any among Ahlul Kitab, but she is still non-Muslim, either Christian or Jew, he is allowed to marry. So, if there is no inheritance for her, you can have to make it within 1/3, which is wasiyah. So, with wasiyah, sometimes you may give more than what she deserves. Because in wasiyah, this is free to you to give 1/3, 1/4. Within 1/3, you can give that amount. So here we understand this point that for non-inheritors, there is this clause of wasiyah, which is 1/3. Normally, it is also applicable in the case of an orphan grandchild. What does it mean, an orphan grandchild? An orphan grandchild got no share. No share in inheritance. How? A man dies, he got 2-3 sons. 2-3 sons, but one son has died in his life, and then he got grandson from him. So when the person, this man dies, he got now 2 sons and 1 grandson. As long as 2 sons are there, grandsons are not going to receive anything. So he is deprived. Here comes all the discussion. All the time this discussion was raised in Muslim lands. Why this grandchild, poor grandchild, is deprived? He is not given any share. He should be given the share of his father. No, his father died in the life of the grandfather. So this is why he can't inherit anything. Solution is here. This ayah is the solution. Make wasiyah. Within 1/3, make wasiyah for the grandchild. Alas, the matter is solved. In some Muslim countries like Egypt, they have made it mandatory. So if a grandchild is not receiving anything, then by this clause they say he must leave something for his grandchild within 1/3. Now comes the other question. فَمَنْ بَدَّلَهُ بَعْدَمَا سَمِعَهُ. This means that if a person is approaching the death and now he is making a will, or he has already written a will, and in his will he has done some errors. He has done some zulm, injustice. For example, in his wasiyah, he has given someone more than what he deserves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained what we have to give to each one. But he wanted to give more than what is prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is janafan. Janafan means mailan, inclination towards one person. Or even in 1/3 wasiyah, 1/3 wasiya. He is free to give to whom, but he wants to give 1/3, for example, to his son-in-law, who is not going to inherit him. So he wants to leave a good amount for his son-in-law, depriving his own children of a lot of money. He can do that. So that is janafan. And he is inclined towards one of the inheritors more than the others. So it could be any person for whom he wants to give more. That comes under janafan. The second thing, or ithman. Ithman, and that is if he does out of sin. And out of sin means giving wasiyah for something which is wrong. He wants to publish something which is not good for him to publish, which is against Islam, any literature against Islam, or he wants to do anything which is against Islam. That is isman, and he made this wasiyah. Now you were there at that time. So you said to the man, you advise him at the deathbed, don't do that. Don't do that. Because it is wrong. It is against Islam. So if he accepts your advice, you would be having your reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You bring the relatives. If you think that he has given someone more than what he deserves, you bring the relatives and you tell them that we have to make justice now. We have to correct the share of each and every person. So in this way, if you do it, is there any sin upon you? The ayah says no. Fala isma alayh. Any person who make reconciliation, fa aslaha bainahum, he does reconciliation among them, fala isma alayh. He got no sin whatsoever upon him. Inna Allah ghafurur rahim. All right, if he has already died, even after death, if you see this wasiyah and will, and there is some injustice to some of the inheritors, and you try to correct it, and you must try to correct it. I mean the executor, they try to do it, or any person who got the authority to implement the will. So they should try to correct it. Correction is very much needed. Because money is such a thing that people, they do a lot of injustice because of money. I remember a case which we have dealt with in Islamic Sharia Council long ago. That was a big case of inheritance, where brothers, sisters from two different mothers were contesting each other. Father is the same. He's a wealthy person, very wealthy person. How wealthy is person? Because his wasiyah in 1/3, just 1/3 was $17 million. 1/3 wasiyah for charities. That was his wasiyah. And now he got two wives. One wife got son and daughter. They were living in America. And they have sent their attorney from America to come to us and contest it. And the other sons were from Manchester. And they are the people who brought this matter to us. And what was their claim? When you see the claim, you will laugh. What do they want by this wasiyah? What was the dispute? The dispute was that this 1/3 money which is left, they got their shares. 2/3 they got their shares. Everybody is pleased with their shares. But now they are contesting this 1/3 wasiyah. They say this 1/3 wasiyah is our right. We are very poor people, and this money is going to charity. 17 million will go to the charity. No, we deserve this money. So both parties are contesting this money. It should come to us, not to the charities. Now what happened later, that is not the subject matter. But the main thing is that the people, because of the money, they forget everything. Their father must have done something good when he left this money for some charities. But these people, they were so greedy. They said, no, we want our share from this money as well. Why? Because we are very poor. They don't speak about the other things which they have received from their father. So here, this ayah also not only specified by the ayah of Surah An-Nisa, but also the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hadith Abi Umama. He said, I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was delivering a speech, إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ عَاطَى كُلَّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقَّهُ فَلَا وَصِيَّةَ لِوَارِثٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given each person who got something in the inheritance, Allah has given his inheritance. فَلَا وَصِيَّةَ لِوَارِثٍ. Now there is no more wasiyah for an inheritor. So who inherits you, like your sons and daughters? Can you make external wasiyah for them? No. Your parents are going to inherit you? Yes. Can you make some extra thing for them? No, you can't. This is what it means, فَلَا وَصِيَّةَ لِوَارِثٍ. So this wasiyah, which is a specific wasiyah, it should be for a non-inheritor only, who does not inherit you at all. You should make some room for him. And it also shows that among the inheritors or among your relatives, there are many relatives, aunties and uncles and cousins and others, they are all your relatives. So according to this ayah, if a person is a wealthy person, he should leave something for them as well, for the other relatives who are not going to inherit. So this is also still relevant. You should not try to deprive them. You should try to give them something from within 1/3. Within 1/3. And it is also said by some of the Tabi'in that if a person has given in 1/3, 2/3 he has given to non-relatives and 1/3 to relatives. This needs correction. 2/3 should go to the relatives and 1/3 should go to the non-relatives, because your relatives got more haqq upon you than the others. So that is this point. And now this will, which is a specific will, which is going to be implemented when? Your inheritance is going to be distributed when? مِن بَعْدِ وَصِيَّةٍ يُوصِي بِهَا أَوْ دَيْنٍ. When it comes to the administrator of your inheritance, they should deal with two things first: the specific wasiyah and any debt which this person who died, deceased person, has owed to the people. Min ba'di wasiyatin yusi biha aw dayn. 4 times these words occur in ayah of Surah An-Nisa. First thing is wasiyah. First of all, take away 1/3 of wasiyah. 1/3 is gone, only 2/3 is left. And then before wasiyah, you have to see a dayn, debt. If a person is in debt, you have to pay the debt first. And among the debt is the dower amount which is deferred, which was not given by the man, which is the haqq of the woman. The woman did not receive the dower amount. As you know that in some countries, mostly in Arab countries, the dower amount is of 2 types. Mahar mu'ajjal, the one which is cash, which is given at the time of wedding. So they say that this 1,000 is mu'ajjal. It is given to the woman after the wedding. And another 1,000 is mu'ajjal, means later, anytime later. Normally they means after death or after divorce. So if the woman did not receive mahr muajjal, the deferred one, this is also dain. It should be given first. In one ayah, among the four times it has occurred, in the last one it says, min ba'di wasiyatin yusa biha aw dainin ghayra mudar. After this wasiyah which he has given, or after giving the debt, ghayra mudar, where there is no harm, where there was no harm intended by the person. What does it mean, ghayra mudar? Dainin ghayra mudar. What type of debt is that? All right, if a person does not want some of his relatives not to receive the proper share, he wants to make his inheritance look smaller than what it actually is. So he wants to exclude some of his inheritors from the proper inheritance or share which they deserve. So he will commit to himself that I am in debt of £1 million, for example. If his inheritance is more than £1 million, he said, I am indebted to 1 million to someone whom he wants to give the money. So in this way, he has accepted a debt which is going to harm the inheritors. That debt is only to minimize the share of his legal inheritors. It is not a good intention at all. So this is why Allah subhanahu said that we have to see what type of the debt is. If this debt is to harm someone, then you don't take care of that at all. Next thing which we have to say here, that this wasiyah or the will should be done, which is 1/3, that should be based upon justice. And you are not going to make a wrong wasiyah. You want to give someone more than what he deserves. Even some people, they leave more amount for one son than the other person. They don't know that you must be doing justice when you make a wasiyah. Or you make a wasiyah for a bad cause, that I also explained. So here applies this hadith of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet said, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الشَّرِّ 70 سَنَةً فَيَعْدِلُ فِي وَصِيَّتِهِ وَيُخْتَمُ لَهُ بِخَيْرِ عَمَلِهِ. A man may be committing lot of sins for 70 years. In his whole life, he was committing sins. But the last action was his wasiyah, his will, which he has done justly. And because of that justice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will end his career with a good action. Because as we said, the end counts. What is going to count is your last actions. If a person was kafir throughout the life, before death he became Muslim, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take that last action, that is valid, and all his sins are forgiven. وَإِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْخَيْرِ 70 سَنَةً فَإِذَا أَوْصَى حَافَ فِي وَصِيَّتِهِ وَيُخْتَمُ لَهُ بِشَرِّ عَمَلِهِ فَيَدْخُلُ النَّارِ. And a person who was doing all good things throughout 70 years, but when he was about to die, he has given a wrong wasiyah, in which he has given someone more than what he deserves, or he has left some wasiyah for non-Islamic acts. فَيُخْتَمُ لَهُ بِشَرِّ عَمَلِهِ. So it means his end was an evil end. فَيَدْخُلُ النَّارِ. And this is how he is going to enter into the hellfire. قال أبو هريرة اقرأوا إن شئتم تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah said, all right, read this ayah. what I am saying is right. Read this ayah. Tilka hududullah fala ta'taduha. These are the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't cross them. So hudud means whatever is explained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Quran. And when Allah said this is the had, that is the limit, then don't cross it. If you cross the limit, you will enter into Jahannam. Now we come to the components of wasiyah. Wasiyah is a will, which I am telling you about, the specific will. You want to give something to a charity, to a non-inheritor within 1/3. So they got now the 4 pillars of that. Al-Musi, the testator. Al-Musa lahu, the person for whom the will is given, legatee, from legacy, that is legatee. Al-Musa bihi, the amount which is to be given, that is Al-Musa bihi. What is that thing? And the 4th one is the mode of wasiyah, how the wasiyah should be written. So let us take this one by one. The first one is the testator, the person who is giving this wasiyah. He should give wasiyah. He should have some money first. If he got no money, there is no need for wasiyah at all, this specific wasiyah. The first thing is an yakuna malikan. And he should be an adult person. And he should be a wise person, not an insane person. So, that is for the testator, that he should own some money, he should be an adult person, he should be a sane person. So if he got a good amount of money, he should have a specific wasiyah. There might be one question raised, why the Prophet ﷺ did not leave wasiyah? Prophet did not leave wasiyah. Prophet is saying that not even 1 night or 2 nights should pass upon you without leaving a wasiyah, and he did not make a wasiyah. The answer is that Prophet ﷺ case is totally different, because he said, "Nahnu ma'ashir al-anbiya la nurith ma tarakna sadaqa." We, all the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't leave anything for inheritance. Whatever we leave is a sadaqah. So this is what it means. The Prophet ﷺ, this is why when it is said that Sayyidina Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha came to Sayyidina Abu Bakr, and she said, where is the inheritance? My inheritance. I was not given any inheritance. So what was the answer of Sayyidina Abu Bakr? This hadith. Prophet has said so. We don't leave anything behind us. Whatever we leave, that is a general sadaqah. So Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha accepted this saying, and she came back. But some people, some factions, they made a big issue out of that. That is wrong, totally wrong. But other Sahaba, they have left wasiyah. Sayyidina Abu Bakr got wasiyah. Sayyidina Umar, he got wasiyah for all his, all those slave girls who were found in his house. Abdurrahman bin Auf, he gave wasiyah especially for the mothers of believers, for the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. Sayyidina Aisha, she made wasiyah for all her belongings to be given to other people and to the poor. The second component is al-Musa lahu, legatee. The person for whom you are leaving a wasiyah. Should he be ambiguous? No, it should be known that I leave this wasiyah for such and such person with his name. So that should be muayyan, should be a known person, or it should be a known charity. I want my inheritance to be left for such and such charity, for such and such masjid, for example. And if it is a masjid, in which city? Or if there is a name for the masjid, you can specify the name as well. And if you want to leave it for an orphanage, name of the orphanage. Or just for some orphans, then you just say that who are these orphans? You can say the orphans of Gaza, for example, the orphans of such and such place. So it should be specific. That is the second component. The third component is al-Musa bihi. Al-Musa bihi, yani what type of thing you can leave for them. Anything which is good for inheritance, anything which is good for use, anything which belongs to you. You can't leave in your wasiyah that all the cars of my neighbors are given to the charity. You don't own them. You don't own the cars of your neighbor. In the same way, you can't say that all my flats in the Mars, they are for such and such charity. You don't own them. So this is not a valid wasiyah at all. Third thing is an yakuna mutaqawwiman, that it should have a qima, it should have a value. Normally the things which got no value, you don't leave it in wasiyah. There must be some value. All right, if a person got a lot of liquor bottles, can he leave them in his inheritance? According to Islam, it got no value at all. Khamr, it is not mal mutaqawwim. It is not a money which got a value. So this is why it can't be left in inheritance at all. So all the haram things can't be left in wasiyah. For someone says that after my death you can make a mashhad upon my grave, a mausoleum upon my grave. That is haram. So it means that this wasiyah should not be carried out at all. So this is al-Musa bihi, and the fourth thing is here. Let me clarify one thing. That if a person has or wanted to give some of his children more than the other, it may be that he wants to give his daughter equal to his sons. He wants to do that. Islamically it is wrong, because a male child is going to inherit a double share of a female child. لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. But he got, the poor fellow got only one daughter and so many sons. He said, why she should receive only half? He can't change the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But one thing is that if he has done such a wasiyah, this wasiyah could be carried out if the other inheritors agree to it. If they say that we don't have any objection to it, then it is allowed. Because there is a hadith which add this word, illa an ajazaha al-warasa. If the other inheritors they allow, then it could be done. But actually it means that the other inheritors are saying, we leave our share and we want to give some of our share to our sister. So this is all right, nothing wrong with that. The next point which I want to deal with, that is the mode of wasiyah and how. It could be verbally, but there should be witnesses. It should be in writing, and now we are in such a time when everything is done legally. So the wasiyah or the specific will or the general will should be in writing, where there are two witnesses signing as well. And it should be not ambiguous, it should be very clear. If you want to make a wasiyah, I want to make a wasiyah for someone to do Hajj from my money, then you should name this person. Or I want someone to proceed with his studies, university studies from my money, his name should be given, should be given as well. What should be a wrong wasiyah? A wrong wasiyah would be, for example, that he makes this wasiyah that I want to give this money to someone to take my vengeance, from such and such person. There was a dispute between you and him, and you would not be able to take your vengeance. So you appoint someone with money to take vengeance. This type of wasiyah is wrong. In the same way, this thing which we have said again and again, that you make a wasiyah for anything un-Islamic, which is not right. Now the last point in this, that what are the things which are going to invalidate your wasiyah? First, as far as the person testator is concerned, testator who has given wasiyah, can he withdraw in his wasiyah? Can he withdraw? Before death, after death he can't withdraw. He is dead. So before his death, can he withdraw, change his wasiyah? Also, answer me. Yes, he can. He can. So if it is dated, and then after 1 year he changed it, date it as well, so he can change it. The second condition is, if a person has given in his wasiyah a good amount of money, in 1/3, to someone, for example, and then this person became insane, the testator became insane, and this insanity remains till his death, then this wasiyah is not applicable. Why? Because he became insane and he was not able to change his wasiyah. He should remain sane, so we know that he did not change his wasiyah at all. The conditions about the person who is legatee, for whom the wasiyah is done. What are things which can invalidate this wasiyah? The first thing is that he dies. You have given wasiyah for someone, he dies in your life. So khalas, the matter is over. Second thing is, if he has given this amount of money for a charity which is not yet established, which is not yet registered, so it means that you can't leave that wasiyah for such a non-entity type of charity. Third is, the person himself rejected this wasiyah. The other person who is a legatee, he said that I don't want this wasiyah at all. So if he rejects, then of course he can't be given by force. Another thing is, if he comes to kill the person who made wasiyah, it is just like a person who is an inheritor, he kills the one whom he is inheriting. So if a son kills his father, son is not going to inherit. Why? Because there is a doubt that he killed him just to get his money. So in the same way, if the person to whom the wasiyah is given, that this person is going to inherit me 1/3 of my assets, and then he killed him, same doubt springs here. So he should not inherit him at all. In the same way, if that person is known to be a man who is waging war against Allah and His Prophet, and in the same way, the thing, now we come to the thing for which wasiyah, which is given in wasiyah, al-Musa bihi. So al-Musa bihi was a car. You said that this car is for such and such person. So if car is damaged for any reason, the car is no more there, then it means you can't implement this wasiyah. You have not to buy another car. No. The thing which you said that this is for such and such person, it is gone. Khalas. So there is no more wasiyah to be implemented. Or in the same way, if a person has given wasiyah in 1/3 But later he became indebted with a lot of debt. So he got no money left with him. If there is no money left with him, then how could you give 1/3 of his assets? You can't. And in the same way, if the thing which you have given in wasiyah, that was something haram, something taken by someone by force, it was stolen things which you want to give in wasiyah, all these things are not applicable at all. Wasiyah should not be attached to something which is impossible. Someone is making a wasiyah for his sister, that I leave for you such and such amount with one condition: you are not going to marry at all. You are not going to marry at all. So that is a wrong wasiyah, wrong condition. You should not make such a condition. It is just like in the matter of sales. In the matter of sale, when you sell this table, the person who got it, who bought it, he is free to use it. But if you sell a horse to someone with this condition that you can't ride it, why you are buying a horse then? When you are dictating a condition which is not in benefit for him at all. All right, I sell you this house. I sell you this house. But you can't live in it. You can't live in it. Again, this condition is not good. Sometime, we know that this type of conditions are not good. But in some other faiths and religions, they can make this dictation or these conditions, and we have to accept it. By law, we have to accept it. There is something which I say about the land of this mosque as well. The land of this mosque, because I am the one who started this whole project, so I know from A to Z of the whole project. So the person who owned the land, from whom we have bought this land, he said that you can't make flat in this land. You can't make any flat in this land at all. So I have sold you so that you can make mosque, for example. Mosque, but not for investment. And we have to accept it. And now the property developer, they don't know about it. They keep on writing to us. I'm still receiving letters from the property developer. He said, you got such a big land, mashallah. Give us, and we are going to make flats for you, and you will have a lot of money. Till now I'm receiving these letters. But we have, according to the law, we can't do that. And if you do it, then a certain amount, a big amount, percentage of the income would go to that person. That is another clause. In the same way, if somebody is making this wasiyah, that I leave you for this money, but the condition is that you have to leave, to abandon the religion. Or you have to spy for me, or spy for someone else. All these type of wasiyah are wrong. Wasiyah should have two witnesses. And if it is in the writing of the person, then he should have his signature as well. And nowadays, nobody is going to write in his own hands. So if it is to be typed, then you have to sign. And in the same way, there should be no clause in this wasiyah in which there is some harm to be given to the inheritors, to the relatives, and give someone more than the other, which we have already described. So these are the things which are about the wasiya itself. Now, according to the law of the land, few things I give you in the last 5 minutes to know about the law as well. Why we said that you must have a will, a general will, because if you got no will and you leave behind a house which is valued at a certain price, then there would be a government tax upon it. That is called inheritance tax. So if you got a house, of course, according to the law, it will go to your wife. And then there are some clauses. Wife and children are just wife only. What should be the price of the land, price of the house where there is no tax? The upper limit is 325,000. If the house is valued 325,000, there would be no tax. It will go automatically to your wife or your children. If it is more than 325,000, still there is an allowance of 175,000 for your spouse, where there is no tax. So it means 325 plus 175 means 500. So the threshold is 500,000 pounds. If that is the value of the house, then there would be no tax. If it is more than that value, then how much is the tax? 40%. 40% will go into the tax to the government. And now another thing is that a person can give, and a person is approaching his death. He said that I am a very old person. I don't want all my money go into the taxes. So let me give some gift. So he started giving the gifts before his death, maybe 6-7 years before his death. So if the gift are 3,000 pounds annual gift, that is allowed. So it means there would be no tax in that money. Small gifts, no, they are not counted. Small gifts you can always do, 250 pounds. Charitable gifts you can give. Larger gifts, they are under a rule which is known as 7 years rule. 7 years rule. What does it mean? A person has given 50,000 pounds to his son. 50,000 pounds you have given to your son, because if it is with you, you think that it is going to be taxed. You have to give the tax, and you know how much the tax is, income tax. But if you gift it to your son for that amount, 50,000 pounds, and you survived 7 years, you did not die within 7 years, then it is not taxable at all. If you survived 7 years. But if you did not survive, then the tax would be reduced according to the years which you survived. So what is the rule? If you died within 3 years, full tax would be paid, 100%, it is taxable. 3 to 4 years, you died within 3 or 4 years, then before 4th years, then 80% tax. 5th year, before 5th year, 60%. Before 6th year, 40%. And as we said, before 7th years, if 7 years are complete, then you have not to pay any tax at all. So this is, there is another thing is, what if a person He is alone with his wife and children. Children are grown up, but they are still going to inherit you. But you want your wife to remain in the house. You don't want your wife to suffer. She might not be living with the son because it may be difficult to live with son and daughter-in-law. So this is why you want her to stay in that house. According to the law, she got the house. She got the house. It may be, if you are joint tenancy or joint ownership, so automatically she would inherit the house, and half of the house is her. But the other half is for the inheritors. So this is why the best thing is, in such a case, to make a trust, which is called life interest trust. Life interest trust means that you can make a trust and there are trustees to look after it. And the clause in that trust is that my wife can live in this house until her death. After her death, the children can claim their shares. So that is going to save the interest of your wife. And then there is another trust called discretionary trust. So this discretionary trust means if someone, it is only good for such people who got minor children, because according to the law of England and Wales, if a person dies, then his money can't go to the children right away, straight away, no. It will remain in their names until they come to the age of 18. After age of 18, they are going to receive that money. And you think that even this age of 18 is not good for them to take all the money. They should be at least age 20, 25. Then they would be able to take that money and spend it. So this is why this trust is good for such people who got minor children or any disabled child. So you can say in this trust that the money is going to be spent by the trustees for the benefit of the children until such and such age. So you can increase the age from 18 to 20, 25, 30. This is on your discretion. And in the same way, in the case of a disabled child, he does not know how to spend that money. He may be insane. He may be in his mental age. He is just like a child. So you can still write in your will by making a trust that the trustees would going to spend upon these children until such and such age. But there is one thing, that you are not going to change the shares at all. The shares which are given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be specified, and these shares, if they are invested in some business, then of course they are going to receive the profits of that shares. But the shares can't be decreased or increased by itself. So these are the few things which by which I have to end my speech. If there is any question, we can take not more than maybe 10 minutes more, and then I have to go. Bismillah. Sallallahu ta'ala ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Nah. Yes. No. They are grown up children. But do you want to leave something for them? So this is what I'm saying. There are two ways. Either in your lifetime. This is another issue. In lifetime, you can you can give to your children whatever amount you want to give them, without any distinction between man and woman, but between a son or a daughter. You have to give them equally. So if you want to give them equally, for example, each one is going to have 20,000, so you can do it, but you must do it equally. So you can transfer this money to them in your lifetime, not in your will, because will should be in 1/3 money only. But in your lifetime, you can give all your assets equally to your children. You are allowed to do that. That is one thing. But if you want to leave something in your wasiyah, in your will, this is what I have explained. In your specific will, which is 1/3, you can give the amount equally to them in 1/3. Now, any other question? Yes. The question is, as the brother is saying, that this man is not here, back home. Huh? Yes, and he left a son and a daughter. And he wants the daughter to receive the equal amount of the son. And I have explained this, that according to Sharia, that is not right. A son has to have the double share of a female. But if the other party agrees, if the son agrees, then it can be done. So it is all upon the son now. If he agrees, the son is the son, means a very greedy son. And he should say, we should say that, don't you honor the will of your father who left you this money? He wanted this money to go to his daughter as well. He should accept. He does not accept, then you can't, you have no other way. All right then. Sallallahu ta'ala ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Jazakumullahu khairan.